Alright, so this will be the first video in a few describing the process of creating this PHP website, in which I'm going to be using Spotify data to present information and build a website basically. So, okay, this page is not working. I'll just show what I've got so far. At this point, I'd say I'm about, realistically, probably 20% done this project, but we're just gonna go to the home page, which, oh yeah, right, I gotta go into the view, and then home.php. Okay, so this is the home page right here. I added responsive web design, so whenever the page is made smaller, it'll go with that. It'll expand and move along with it. We expand again. We have 4 columns, and as we make the page smaller and smaller, it goes to 2 and then to 1, etc. So we had to have 8 different categories for this. We have the top genres, the top artists, the most popular songs, one-hit wonders. This query right here is not completed. As you can see, certain of these guys have much more than 1 songs in the top Spotify data list, so that's going to be changed. For this one, actually, the query has been quite difficult to come up with, because I'm trying to think of a way that I'm trying to use a calculated field within the where clause of my SQL query. That way I can only retrieve, I can say like where the count of this artist ID is 1, but you can't use calculated fields in there. So I thought I could use a subquery. That hasn't worked, so I'm going to have to think of a way to figure this out. Other than that, all of these were fairly simple. So running songs, all that. I will simplify the data here, because right now it's quite a lot. You come up on a page, you don't want to see a bazillion lines of text. So I'm going to make it, maybe make it one or three, something like that. And yeah, just show it in a better way. Maybe I can like have a toggle button. I feel like that should be it. Have a toggle button. Maybe at the bottom here, just to kind of let the user decide if they want to see the info or not. And then if you click anywhere else, well, this is going to bring you to a link that leads you to these individuals. Single song info, blah blah blah. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. So this is one page. Yeah, again, all of these are SQL queries. So if we go over here to the homepage class.php, we have all the queries. So basically the way this works, I have a database connection object, which is over here. This allows us to create a PDO object which connects to our database. We have all of this over here, and then we pass this on to all the other classes so they extend it such that the database connection is a child class. That makes sense, right? You can't write a query without having a database connection, so we have this as a child class, extends it, and then we write our SQL query. We get the results by connecting to the database and then querying it for the PDO object, and then the results are right here. We return the results because I'm trying to use model view controller here. So model only interacts with database. Whatever database object that we have, it only interacts with that. And then it's brought over to the controller, which then I have a controller for each class. So for this one, really, there's not much that I can do in terms of this. So I really just return basically the info of the model straight back to, because you'll notice if we go to the model here, if we go to the home page, you'll see that all of these are protected functions. And the reason that it's like that, well, I guess this one isn't, but it should be. The reason that they are like this is because I don't want the view to access the model. Within model view controller, this type of programming, this programming paradigm, I guess you could call it, you don't want the view to interact with the model. Right, it's the controller takes the data from the model, and then it brings it to the view, And the view can interact with the controller, but the model and the view can interact together. Now, usually with the controller, you'd want to change some stuff up. You'd want to maybe, change the values, which I tried to do here, but it didn't quite work. I'm gonna have to rethink my approach to this. But basically, yeah, we take this, and this is a public function, so it can be accessed by the view. Which then, if we go to home.php, we have this, right? And then we simply have a view function for each of them, which I might get rid of repetitive code here because they're all quite similar in terms of how to display the data. And then we simply call that view function within here, and then it shows us the information. So all of these is the information that we got from the SQL query. These are all SQL queries being displayed through HTML, and we apply CSS styling to make it look good, but that's basically the simple way to explain that. Okay, let's see what else. So we have our search results page, which I haven't started working on actually. That one has yet to come. There's also song search. So this one, I definitely want to change. I know I'm going crazy with the linear gradients. The images here, they might change too. I'm actually thinking of making these bigger because it's pretty small right now, but we'll see. So yeah, we have it like this, and obviously this is barely viewable, but the plan is, so we're going to be able to either do a basic song search or an advanced song search. These are two separate forms. So at the moment you can't do one or the other. You can only do one or the other. You can't do both at the same time. And within the basic song search, you'll notice these are radio buttons, so you can only pick one. And then within here, you can only pick one of these, right? So if you have a year, you can pick between certain years. You can have less than, greater than. You can already imagine how the SQL queries are going to look like depending on what you pick, right? If you have year, you're going to select whatever data you want from the songs, where the year is greater than whatever you put here, or between, or less, where the genre is equal to this. So all these are going to be fairly simple SQL queries that are constructed by whatever the user gives. In terms of options here, I actually want to change the styling for this because I think it looks very old, but at the same time, I probably shouldn't do it too much. Probably shouldn't worry about that. Honestly, at this point, I think I've worried too much about the styling, not enough about the actual SQL functionality. But basically, these lists are just retrieving the data from the database and showing it as an option here. Yeah, advanced song search, again, pictures, all that. So yeah, and then if we go to the single song class.php, I had a lot of functions here, but I'm trying to rethink how I'm going to present the data. And that's going to take a little bit of time to actually think about. But once I have a plan for that, once I complete all of that stuff, I'm going to make another video on this. But for the time being, this is what I got. So made a decent amount of progress, but there is still a long way to go. This is all the styling for that song search page, by the way. I think that my homepage has less styling than that, actually. Yeah, homepage has significantly less styling, but it looks better, so that's kind of funny. Anyways, that's where I'm at, and I'll make another video within the next week or so.